This is the regular meeting of the North Whitby Pool Park and Recreation District Board of Commissioners. I'm calling this meeting to order at 6 p.m. Roll call. Commissioner Crainer, present. Commissioner Larson.
Present.
Commissioner Whitmer. Present. Commissioner Hartman. Here. Commissioner Guy.
Present.
Moving on to the agenda. Does anyone have anything to add to the agenda?
I would like to change the agenda in order.
Okay.
I'd like to move 8A4 to 8A8, basically at the end of that batch.
Essentially formal.
You the last one.
Yeah.
A motion to move 8A4 to 8A8.
All in favor of moving 8A4 to 8A8, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right. Board of Commissioners welcomes public input on items listed on the agenda, policies, or issues affecting our district. The Board of Commissioners takes this time to listen and consider, but not to comment. Anyone who wishes to comment, please let us know. Please state your name and keep your comments to 3 minutes. Thank you. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda is designed to assist in making the meeting shorter and more efficient. Items left on the consent agenda may not be discussed when the consent agenda comes before the Board of Commissioners. Does any commissioner request removal of a consent agenda item?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
All in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
We're moving on to staff reports.
Oh, no. Oh, staff report. I'm sorry. I thought that was after. Oh, you're right. Let's get some pages.
Jay, go ahead when you're ready.
I think the only thing that I forgot that I left out of the staff report is that we close the Sunday and Monday of Labor Day weekend.
I think mine is all covered in the program committee review that Commissioner Guy will be presenting.
Jay, is the pool closure noted on the website?
It is.
Yeah, okay. Since we have comments in the director's staff reports, I do want to give you guys an update that I received today. So I was contacted today by the Baseball Association, and their locks have been getting cut off of their Connex boxes. So the heavy duty locks that they were cut and just replaced on Sunday, and they were cut again today. I did reach out to Shane. This is apparently not a district thing. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Do you know if anything was taken? So she said that it didn't seem like anything was taken, just the lock was cut. Shane did mention that these locks are so sturdy that even they've broken his power cutter before trying to cut them off. So I don't know who's using what tool, but yes, so it's twice in a week.
That's property that we own. And they're leasing out to them, or
So we own the property. Do we own the Conex boxes too?
I don't believe so.
We do hold our milk in there. That's all the information I have about it. Mr. Giles, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, so we're moving on to the program committee. First item is the Whidbey Island Baseball Club. During our program committee meeting, we reviewed the maintenance contract that has been drafted between the district and the club. This is something that we're looking to put in place so that we can codify responsibilities and basically an arrangement between the Whidbey Island Baseball Club and the Whidbey Park and Recreation District. The agreement, the way it's written, looks pretty good to Jamie and I as we reviewed it in the committee. Jay has sent that off to the lawyer for the lawyer to look at, just to make sure that we're not spending ourselves down the river or anything like that. We're not ready to move forward on this contract just yet because there are some other things that need to be worked out. Right now, specifically, there's no money changing hands right now between the baseball club and the district. So we're basically receiving from them an in-kind payment. They're taking care of the maintenance of the facility. So some of the outstanding items on that is we're looking at what that maintenance would cost going forward. What is the value of that service we're receiving? And then how do we equate that to either a use fee, or like, do we take on the maintenance and do a use fee, or do we continue in the same type of agreement? And so those things, those numbers are being worked out. Again, working with lawyers still to make sure that we're not doing anything wrong. That kind of also leads to having that facility available to other organizations as well. So there's still a lot of unanswered questions. We are moving towards an agreement on that, but we're not ready to put that in front of the organization yet to sign that. I understand that the Whidbey Island Baseball Club has thrown a number out at us. It sounds like with the preliminary information that we have that number will not cover the expenses if we take on the maintenance. So at the risk of sounding bad, we're getting the better end of the deal right now by having the maintenance agreement instead of the money. As that program grows, that may change. But if we're doing a per person, right now that it's not going to cover the maintenance. So it's something that the program committee is still working on. Not ready to sign that yet, but that's where we're at with that.
I saw there was some discussion about defining the length of term of the season.
Right. So it's not so much that we have another interested party that would like to come in there, but we do want to have that available to, for example, a family that wants to hold a family reunion baseball game or something like that. There does need to be some type of a fee schedule that would make that facility available for a half day, full day. So those are kinds of things that we've asked the staff to work on. I think I breezed right past it, but we asked maintenance, Shane, to develop a cost analysis of how much it would cost to maintain that, equipment, labor, those types of things, what it would cost to take over that maintenance from the Whidbey Island Baseball Club.
You also want to consider in-house development options
Because they might be mowing the lawn as a return of allowing them to use the facilities, but at the same time, are they actually doing it? And are they getting a money sort of exchange? What we're putting out there. That's something that we're asking, we ask Shane to follow up on.
Going forward, we do expect that there will be some type of an agreement with the Whidbey Island Baseball Club, most likely a maintenance agreement. Whether there is compensation remains to be determined. But I think our end goal right now would be to have some type of maintenance agreement. But at the same time, we will also come up with a monetary amount that it costs to do that, so that we can provide that to the budget committee for setting prices in the future. With that, I guess are there any other questions on that specific item? We don't have a motion. I don't recommend a motion for that.
So we did, with the public did analysis on the water release classes. Currently in the term, Saturday mornings just doesn't have great attendance. The proposal is to cancel that one and add another 8 a.m. class to it. That will also meet the needs of the demands of water aerobics in the morning. It is usually at capacity, so usually that was at 22, and the last few days, the last few times it's been at 34. So having a morning option will allow us to meet the needs of 1, 2, 3 weekdays. If there's more needs in Saturday, then we'll also consider it, but right now it's not as a big reason. That also opens opportunities for other activities as well. There's no motion for that. We want to probably 5K. So initially, Chad was working on the Chum Run, but that was canceled mid-July. So there was a suggestion to do a 5K with a Couch to 5K program. Just considering the time and the fact that shortly after this was presented, the coordinator resigned. One, there's just not the efforts, the team capacity to make that happen, but also Couch to 5K is like a maintenance program. So we're calculating it by the time we have this meeting and we actually launched it. That's going to be really pushing it. We feel that it would be best to not rush into this, and if it's something that's going to happen, look into options. Maybe we do December instead of Halloween, or maybe we plan for it and then we actually don't do it until 2025 as a bigger launch for it to have more time. So at this time, that's what the program committee is considering what our time crunch is. Either we let it sit until 2025, that allows us to have more legalities as far as our logistic times to figure out all the permits and stuff that are required for that, and also hype it up. Or we push it to December. We got something. December is also something that we consider as a low key program. Couch to 5K will also encourage you to be more participate. That's something that we also
The recording that changed kind of those plans.
Yeah, and I think, part of the idea behind doing the 5K was we were trying to engage more with events as we're going into a levy cycle and trying to get more fun out into the community. So whatever we can.
Once we've got the program up, it's pretty easy to run the periodic races.
Yeah.
But at this time, it's just a little bit too quick to turn that around.
So one thing I had considered possibly doing, and I wanted the board's input here, is maybe taking some of this on as a board and having a separate event committee that would do some of the planning and take some of the burden while we are going through navigate our staff changes. I don't know that any thoughts. So.
Are we actively recruiting for this position?
My understanding is that due to the levy, the question mark, there's not really a push. This is what happened in the beginning of this year as well when the cancer also quit. are resigned, there was just like concern, how do we hire someone now, guarantee that they have a job?
Even more of an issue now.
So I believe Julie and Jay, you guys just went back, reverted and took on responsibilities. That was picked up in February.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and just the time constraints of everything that happened, we haven't had a chance to thoroughly discuss it, but we did loosely discuss the plan moving forward in the current situation. I don't know if she's where she can chime in.
There's also lots of programs being launched in the next few weeks. On top of doing the hiring another rec coordinator, you guys are launching like football and
Like football has started, volleyball will be starting, and we'll be opening registration for basketball soon.
but as far as the committee, I think that would really relieve. The concept of itself would allow more time for the district staff to focus on the other tasks at hand. But as commissioners, it would just be dependent on if we have the capacity to do it. Because outside we're focusing on levy crossing, do we have the capacity to levy our work, our life, and also do it? Or is it something that we just, it's not an urgent matter, postpone it for the next 2 months?
I think it muddies the water, makes the lines a little bit gray as to what our position is in making all this happen. And so we go from commissioners to de
Right.
facto workers.
I feel like if we were gonna have an event committee, it would have to live inside like Friends of North Liberty. And not be part of the week. Like Bill was saying, I think the waters are too muddy if it's a commissioner held event committee. I think that having a commissioner sit on an event committee, if it's a citizen-led committee, is a good idea. So I don't think an event committee is out of the question. I just don't think that it should be led by a full commissioner.
I would actually agree with that we present it to the Friends of the People Park and see if they want to take it on with the commissioner as in an advisory role. So we're doing an 885 Master Swim program. We were presented with some financials for Master Swim program. The way our program revenue expense matrix, we'll say, works right now. It appears that Master Swim is not making the revenue needed to continue. And we did discuss at a previous meeting giving programs a fighting chance, giving them 2 sessions, I believe, for a year, depending on if they were continuous or session-based. So Master Swim has been going on for about, we're in the 8th month now. The way the matrix is written, it's severely underperforming. However, I think that there are some, and we recognize this during our meeting, and then with some research after the fact, we recognize that there may be some things that are just not making it from reality onto paper. So during our meeting, during the program committee meeting, we did want to table Master Swim for now. We don't want to put it on the chopping block just yet because we feel that there's some more information that needs to be gathered on that and analyzed. It appears when you look at the pool that there are more people than are what is showing on the numbers. So it could be related to people signing in incorrectly. It could be related to any number of things. So a couple of options, if we come to the realization that the finances just aren't there, It doesn't mean that it has to be completely cut. It could be dropped down to 2 lanes or 1 lane from the 3 that it's at right now. Another option is we will send it to the budget committee for a review of the financials that actually go into these matrix Cs. And that's kind of the recommendation right now, is to really drill down on what numbers need to go into these matrices. So we're giving all of our programs a chance. We do understand that programs have to be funded by the people that walk through the door, and services are funded by the taxpayers. And we have to keep those lines separate. We can't have taxpayers paying for a program that's only available to certain people. So at this point, our recommendation is to table this item. It has been brought up that it is a concern, so we'll table it for now, or we would like to table it for now, and then allow the budget committee to do a little bit of work on this.
So on this table, we're not hemorrhaging money, you know, that it's going to create such a significant drain.
That's a subjective statement.
So if you look cost versus revenue, we're in the green. Yeah. Profit and loss statement, yes.
but not the masters.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you look at those lines in the P&L, that is strictly the amount of dues collected and the coaching fee. Our worksheet and the matrix that Commissioner Guy is speaking of is where we were instructed to include things such as lifeguard fees, a lane fee, those types of items. When you factor all of those in, it is no longer in the green.
So here's my question. So if you were just based off of, I will say I'm part of Master Swim, so that's where some of the knowledge is coming from. So when I walk in there, if you were to pull Master Swim from any morning, the only thing you're removing is you're removing the master's coach and the master's swimmers. The number of lifeguards isn't changing, and you don't have additional staff.
Right, but for anyone using the pool at that time, you would parse out the lifeguard fee for everybody who's there. So they would still have a share in that.
Right. So
And it does prevent those 3 lanes from being used for other things.
yeah. Also, with us not being an official master's program, I think that that is playing a role into not having some of the attendance that we would have. And is there a plan to rectify that?
Sure, yes. I don't have a plan to rectify that this is a master's swim event. In my point of view, right now, that's a month ahead of us right now. Right now we have, I'm looking at a balance sheet that shows a negative. So whether the program is not successful by the numbers right now. So to pay a license fee would not be the smart thing to do right now. If we are going to make this program work, we have to get rid of the nonsense fees that are being charged to it, rather be billed to it. And I don't mean fees from the patron. I mean, if we shouldn't be charging a lane fee, then we need to take that off of our matrix. If we shouldn't be paying an extra lifeguard from that, then we need to take that off of our matrix. That's what we need to figure out. I know that we do pay some staff fees off of that, but I think we've come to the agreement that our executive staff is paid for through the services budget. That's paid for by taxpayers. So that's something that probably needs to be worked out on the Excel document. So that's going to lower the expense cost of every program that we have. So to say that we're going to pay the fee right now, I think is irresponsible, in my opinion. We need to figure out whether it's making money, because the balance sheet is not showing that it's making money right now, but I don't believe that is in reality.
I'm okay with tabling this. My question is, are we tabling it with the current date?
I will get to that.
My only thing is I'm a little uncomfortable offering a program that actually doesn't officially exist.
Okay.
So if we're not master's
So-
members, we can't say we're offering a master's
I
program.
believe the item was budgeted, so I provided, I'm only one voice here, but I provided, I believe the master's fee was already budgeted for. The program was set up, it should have been paid for.
The Master Swim was before all of us. The allocation for it was based on the max participant, not how the max participant. That's where the expected expense and the cost for it is higher than we have. So the numbers are reflecting on here significantly.
And I'd like to see the real world numbers crunched before we commit to paying for anything.
And I think it's reasonable to, if we know we're having multiple programs using the pool at the same time, that build it into the matrix where we're budgeting a portion of, lifeguard and staff time versus 100% of lifeguard and staff time for all the programs that are using it at the same time.
So my concern is for the users. Our users have been mandated to purchase their own individual licenses to be able to participate in the program they're actually not participating in.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Continue the program that's
We've approved it to start, so we need to start it. Is
what is it cost to know?
$70 for a year
For each participant or just for our license for the district?
for both individual license and district license. They're the same cost for individual versus a club.
For that cost, I think that's a reasonable ask. Because the program has the potential to grow. It does have the potential to grow. And as I started out, we did say that we were going to give programs a chance. For a program to succeed, we have to give it a chance. It's been brought to our attention that right now it's not succeeding, but that doesn't mean it won't succeed when the word gets out there.
Yeah, and I think, people coming into the community with like special interests, specific kind of athletes. For someone that's gonna do Master Swim, they're gonna go US Master Swim website, look for clubs. We're not there. They might be going to Anacortes where they could be going next door and they just don't know. But yeah, there was a how-to guide on Master Swim on how to build a program, and it discussed that it was $70. But the good news is we have the hard part down. Usually the hard part is finding the coach. So we're halfway there. So I think we can get it there. We just have to be mindful of what we're requiring versus what we're actually doing.
And I agree with that. I'd like to see the real world numbers, if there are people that are attending Master Swim, but being allocated or signed in a different area, then obviously our numbers are going to be off. So,
And that's very easy to do, and I wouldn't know how often or how frequently that might be happening. But the numbers that are presented to me in board meetings aren't matching the numbers that I'm experiencing in Master Swim.
And in the meantime, for $70, I think we can risk that and find out if this program is going to sink or swim.
so back to the original question.
So, I was getting to that.
So I don't know for sure where this number came from, but the annual registration for the district that was listed is not a huge discrepancy, but in our budget, it was listed as 115, not 70. So I assume that was based on the previous rec manager's research into launching the program.
I could be wrong. I mean, I was reading a bunch of things at once, so I could.
No, it's still not used.
So given that, I'm going to throw a motion out there to table the chopping block on the master swim until the end of the year. Let's go till February of 2025. So I'd like to make a motion to table master swim discussions until 2025, February meeting of 2025. I think that's going to be the last Thursday of February, to be specific. And to go ahead and pay those up to 120 in fees.
I'll second that.
All in favor of unanimous? Please,
Up to 120 in case there's taxes. Well, that's part of it.
well, 120 was approved. I'll pay the tag.
Okay, so we're ready to move on?
Yep.
Okay, the Oak Harbor Elementary swim lesson pricing. This was reviewed, actually this has been reviewed at 2 meetings now. And unfortunately we haven't got anywhere positive on this. I think we were all looking at making this a discounted price for our Oak Harbor Elementary School kids. But there's a problem with paradigm, and there's a problem with fairness there. We don't actually discount any other programs, including Oak Harbor High School swim team. So the Oak Harbor High School swim team pays full price for the lane use. The only discounted program we have right now is the Oak Harbor Elementary School kids swim lessons. So if we were to offer that discount, we now open that up to other organizations. At the present time, given the problems we actually just talked about with the pricing models, the program committee is not confident that if we have that available to not just Oak Harbor Elementary, but every other elementary school and every other group and organization to have a discounted price on that, that we wouldn't actually end up in the negative on some of this stuff. So our goal right now is to table this one as well, because we're not ready to make a final decision. I think it was the general board consensus that we would like to come to something on this, but it would be, in our opinion, irresponsible to make that decision now without having the numbers to support it and without making that available to other organizations. And then if we do that, what would be the ramifications of doing that? And then do we need to look at also the high school, which is the same organization? Do we now have to offer them a discount as well? And would that be available to other elementary schools for swim lessons? So lots of questions, not a lot of answers.
I just want to put a bug out there.
Yeah.
What would the burden be to try to draft an ILA with the school district? Because we use their facilities at what I understand is going to be at cost for us to use their facilities as well, and those costs are also going up because of the maintenance and the staffing fees that they have to pay. Do either of you on budget committee have the capacity to reach out to the schools and say, oh, that's not, just kidding, program?
If I remember what I heard, I think that we are paying full price to use their facility as well.
Right. And so I wonder.
Not cost, but full price, retail.
Oh, yeah, there's a difference there. That's what I meant, at retail cost. You know, I wonder if there's an opportunity to open up an ILA.
Oh, sorry, Jay. Yeah, go ahead.
So we actually do have an interlocal agreement with the school district that allows us to use each other's facilities for free at this time. And when Oak Harbor Elementary School came to us and said, hey, can you make this cheaper? We did propose to them that if they could find a way to do the instructors themselves, that we could give them the lane space for free because of that ILA. And I have seen it work in other areas before where outside groups get volunteer swim instructors who have swim instructor pass before. So we did put that in front of Oak Harbor Elementary as an option. But they
You're talking, you dropped
I
out,
think we
Jay.
lost you.
Well, at least we get to know
Don't
there's
you-
an option. Yeah.
Sorry, did I lose you?
We got you back. Well, we
Did
did.
you hear all of it?
No.
Okay.
We
Oh,
go to the
no,
top
okay, so we do have,
Keep going.
Julie, can you talk about it for me, please? You know the details.
Yes. So we did discuss that possibility that if they were to provide their own instructors, that would be an option. They said they would take it under advisement. It was something that they would look into. As far as I know, we have not heard anything direct back related to that.
So I'm a little confused, because I've heard two things. I've heard we're using some of their facilities for free, but then I also heard we're using some of their facilities at full price, so.
So in 2023 to 2024 school year, there was a current ILA user facility at no cost. But towards the end of this last school year, there was discussion for facility fees for every participant. So they just released the schedule fee on what cost. And there's, I think, 4 different categories, and we're in one category that says that we pay for that. Starting this year.
I do believe some of our guests in the room do have information to add. Would the board be okay allowing them to interject here? We're good. Good.
I was just going to address the getting instructors. I think it's a great idea, but I can barely get anybody to come and volunteer to watch the bathrooms. And so being realistic about finding 3 to 4 instructors for every class is not, it's just not realistic at this time. So that's why we kind of put that on the back burner.
Is there a way that we can, if we can get an ILA for the 24-25 school year, would it be feasible? And I guess not discussion, but something to think about. Waiving the lane fee if the school picks up the instructor, the students, the participants pick up the instructor fees. Is that a way to bring it back into a way that we can afford to give them, and maybe create a model where we can afford to give organizations that discount price?
I think that would actually fit in to something like we have with the Whidbey Island Baseball Club, where if we're doing an ILA so we get a monetary something out of it, we are able to use the school's facilities, they're able to use our facilities. And now the only cost that exists is the labor costs. That could definitely make a big difference in in the overall price that would be charged. And in my opinion, I think that's a way forward. Now, the one concern that I will bring up is that there's only one school participating in this. So the only one group of kids can do this. So we're not offering this service. We are offering the service to the district, and the district is choosing to only allow these kids, and it has to do with transportation.
Right, and the proximity to the pool, so.
And that's why it is.
They're gonna do the floodgates open.
But- So our agreement is not with Oak Harbor Elementary, it would be with the Oak Harbor District when they choose who comes.
So I was going to add, Jay and I did meet with the superintendent and started the conversation of reworking that ILA to something that would be agreeable to both sides. And to Commissioner Larson's question about hearing the two things, that we charge full price and then we get free use. So we calculate the value at full price as the school district does, like for our basketball program. They gave us a spreadsheet that had everything outlined at the full price. So I think that's where Commissioner Guy is saying we charge them the full price. So it's not an actual cash exchange right now because of the ILA. So.
Thank you for that conversation.
So my proposal is 1 month on Oak Harbor Elementary swim lessons. I'm not I'm making a motion to table Oak Harbor Elementary School swim lessons pricing for 1 month.
I'll second that.
Comment on the motion. That would bring us, we would have this in place by November. So if we table it, we have to have an answer next meeting.
Well, we actually already have an answer.
Oh, okay.
Our answer is full price.
Oh.
That's what is on the books right now.
Okay, got it. Got it. Okay.
So our motion, our proposal is to change what's on the books.
Okay.
So I'm motioning to push this 1 month proposal to lower the price.
All in favor of the motion? Say aye.
All right. Hi-I. Hi-I, for anybody that's not familiar, is an organization that provides scholarships to kids, for kids to go to camp. They are an Island County organization, so they work through the entire county, not just in Oak Harbor, not just in North Whitney. So there has been some kids that participate in our summer camp or day camp. And then Hi-I is paying for that.
The healthy energy.
That's what it stands for. Hi-I did approach the district and asked if we could provide a discounted pricing, because right now we are charging the non-resident pricing to non-residents, and Hi-I is covering the non-resident pricing. Hi-I is located in Island County. They are, I believe, not located in our district. Whether that matters or not remains to be seen. But the kids that they're sponsoring are not always within our district boundaries. So the ones that are in our district boundaries are being charged the resident rate, and the ones outside our district are being charged the out of district rate. Hi-I is doing a great thing, but I'm going to divert back to the same thing we just talked about. There's no other organizations that we're providing a discount to.
Now, what's the difference between the resident rate and non-resident rate?
So 112 is for swim lessons, 168 is 50%.
And they're bringing how many kids
I
approximately?
think we did 2, is that what you said, Julie? 2 kids?
That are non-resident, I believe it's 2 families.
And how many are they bringing that are resident?
It varies quarter to quarter, usually somewhere between 3 and 5 per quarter get approved for scholarship. Total.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, we think that there's more work to do here. We're not saying that this isn't a good idea, but right now we have a resident pricing structure, and we have a non-resident pricing structure for this particular program, for the day camp program. For other programs, we don't have a resident, non-resident structure. So after going back and forth for quite some time, I think we've come to the realization that our pricing model really needs to be looked at. The whole thing, like start to finish. And we need to be consistent among programs. Some programs are profitable, some are not profitable. Some have a different model that is used. Some are resident, some are non-resident, or some are resident, non-resident, some are not. Some are, none of our programs have anything built in for income category. Nothing is built in for any kind of government organizations or anything like that. So I think that there's a lot of questions out there that we are not ready to make these final decisions on without looking at the model and being consistent.
Just to be clear, we're not looking at doing an income-based model.
I just threw it out there as an
Okay.
example.
All right.
None of that exists right now.
All right. And
No, it shouldn't. You're right, it shouldn't. I was only throwing examples out there. For the reason I even said that is because the Hi-I is income-based, but they make that determination, not us.
Right. But it's also just considered that if we did should we offer it?
Should the Rotary Club be able to sponsor kids to go to day camp, for example?
What other doors?
Well, I mean, that's gonna kind of fall downstream. Like I know that there's a non-resident that's gonna be on the Oak Harbor High School swim team. They're paying the same amount for her than they are everybody else.
So there's no non-resident, resident pricing for the swim team, is what you're saying?
But that was sort of inconsistencies.
Right.
I remember at the point, like even high is a great program and scholarship. So, if the district has said, hey, you know what, as a partnership, you're not only providing the scholarship to participate in two programs, let's give you the resident. But it was also brought to our attention that there's a reason why we have resident versus non-resident prices. It's a perk for being a resident, instead of not a perk for not being. But
Right, but
David
I
and I both feel 50% is a huge markup, for,
And I
Well, and
think
I
if there's
could
a
argue
program-
that Iowa County is a resident of the district because we have facilities located within district boundary. And I can argue that Rotary, we have, so we can make the argument that
the district.
that, there could be resident pricing offered to organizations. Providing scholarships, yeah,
The kids are participating in it, they're benefiting from it.
right.
So is it something that's gonna be more cost effective, if they consider with the high I and OHE, can they increase their and offer more on the kids?
Right.
So instead of two, maybe they can just.
Julie, you had something you were chomping at the bit.
So I was just wanting to clarify for the record that we do not charge resident, non-resident for day camp. So none of our rec programs have that. It is swim lessons and aquatic fees. that have
Oh, I'm sorry,
resident,
did I use the wrong
non-resident.
program?
So it's
I apologize, I
okay.
used the wrong program.
I didn't even catch it.
Thank you for getting that on the record for us.
Appreciate that.
What's your inclination on this one? Commissioner Guy.
Well, I'd like to table this one for 5 minutes.
I was trying to give you an opening to get rid of the table. For 5 minutes, okay.
Oh, okay, let's just say no motion. I have no motion at the time.
Okay.
So can we move on to 4 then, which is now 8.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so, item 8, which was 4, is the special meeting topic pricing. Given everything that I've told you so far, and Commissioner Whitmer has told you so far, the program committee does believe that there are some inconsistencies in our pricing models. We also believe that we can't explain some of the numbers that are used in the pricing models. We haven't been able to nail down where some of those numbers came from. We have a pretty good idea where they came from and what they are, but these numbers are affecting a large picture. As Julie said, rec programs don't have a resident, non-resident, but other programs do have resident, non-resident. I mentioned before, we don't give discounts to certain organizations, and there's one organization that does get a discount. So there are inconsistencies in our pricing models right now. What I would like to propose, with the board's consent, I would like to put on the table a special meeting to strictly discuss the pricing model with input from the staff on where each number comes from and how we come to the lane fee number and how we come to the labor costs. We did discuss maybe sending this back to budget committee. It would be my recommendation that we do this as a board so that we're not just allowing, we get input from all sides, from budget, from program, from all the other things that we all have eyes on, and just having 5 voices in a special meeting. So I'm taking a motion to the board to request a special meeting to discuss.
I'll second that motion.
Well, actually, I think I have to.
We can schedule one.
Unless you're going to do it, we have to get consent of the board to even have a special meeting.
Okay, we're gonna have a special meeting.
Okay.
TBD.
I need, for me to do it, I have to have consent from the board, or from the majority. But the
You have
board to
that
be,
with
director, your motion from there, for second.
Okay.
Doing discussion right now, or?
Yeah. Or you withdraw?
Well, you already scheduled this all withdrawn.
Okay.
I'm done.
Are you sure?
Wasn't that enough?
No, just kidding. Yes, so special meeting, do you want to work on scheduling that now, or do you want?
I would like a TBD.
The TBD.
TBD, potentially next week. Definitely before our next meeting, so we have a little bit of time to work.
That actually works out, sure can work.
September 29th is hard because it calls
I would never have known that.
September 5th,
September 5th is the first Thursday.
6th, or
5 on Thursday.
5 at the pool?
No, you're talking about time.
Huh?
Are you talking about time or?
Oh, I'm sorry.
September 5th,
I'm
Does
sorry.
5
1800 or 1700?
1800.
is there an activity going on in the pool if you decide to do it?
I can't do 1700. That's barely, they're pretty.
I'm fine with that too.
18:30.
We really are going with this now, aren't we?
I'm like lost.
There should not be an activity. I don't know if I will be present.
Oh, so you're not available.
Do you want to be present? I mean, you're the business
I think,
manager.
Yeah, I think we need your presence.
Is that when you're gone for your trip?
We could do it at 6 o'clock.
Okay, good then.
No, I can either for 6, I can either at 5.
Oh,
I have
okay.
something at 5.
6 p.m. on the 5th?
I can look it up again.
So. Number 5th. 1800.
I'll put it in the calendar.
Make sure you let me know.
5.
This is at the pool.
I think that's what we're planning right now.
16?
I'll send everybody a calendar invite. Jay, you'll have to forward that calendar invite to Julie.
I'm a few minutes late, just talking to
Also, Jay, your hand is still up. Did you have anything else to add since the last time your hand was up? Because we've been doing a really bad job of paying attention.
It never went down.
Okay.
Maybe.
Last,
Did you go last night?
Hmm?
Did you go last night?
No.
Jamie, do you want to update from last night? Sure. Okay.
So last night we made the decision of which signs that the Friends of North Newport Park Rec, they are in the next 24 hours, we should be purchasing signs. Thankfully, to the two past fundraisers, we had enough money to buy a good starter package of signs. And we just got a donation this morning, it was $2,000 for something, and then we have quite a bit of people who are signed up. So the signage, the goal is to have it out, the priority is to have a big banner down behind. There's a big sale that we identified as not city, and we have connections. And then the goal is by the beginning of September is to distribute all the yard signs. Ashley's design is in the works in the next 24 hours or by the end of this, tomorrow is by the end of this week. So the next 24 hours, Ashley's design is opening a platform to offer lucky shirts that they are purchasing. If you do purchase directly from them, that's their own entity, that's their partnership for the, and the sign waving. So that's also in the works. There's a sign up genius that I did email out. Then we'll be posting on Facebook once we have a better idea on the sign that we're writing. October 19th, 20th, 27th, November 2nd, and 3rd are the dates for signing. So those are going to identify as well. Oh, and there's a yard sale hopefully in September. So the logistics for that is the rest of their, it was an idea, but we just didn't have the support and purchasing. I mean, we still have people who are interested in participating in it, but we just don't have that. We just don't have the clientele to make it happen. It's a great idea. We had great concept.
Houses lined
Houses lined up. We had a limo ride and everything, but just the people that just weren't, that we would target is not there. I mean, if we do have, at minimum, if we have 8 people who are willing to pay $125, we have a few phone calls to make it happen. But during the fundraiser in August, there just wasn't there.
What fundraiser?
Huh?
Which fundraiser?
The one that was
What's fun?
the one you were at.
I bought things that night.
So I like I said, so they are there, they are increasing it, Pat is working hard on getting the word out, through the post, we did meet with a community member who is, willing to be more involved. So the more information, the more signage, we can come forward.
We identified other spots for the big signs.
Yes, we do have quite a bit of list, so, the goal is to purchase 200 yard signs, double-sided, and at least 5 4x8 banners to start off with, and that's just basically maxing out what's available. And then as funds come in, we'll do more. There was a request to purchase like legal size 8x11 cardstock flyers or for storefronts to use as well, so that might be an option. That's a low cost local thing. The reason why we didn't go with local is the Vistaprint is
What about mailers?
Mailers is a district. I don't know what the status is in that one. With you and Jay and Britt and David. Jay, did you hear that? What's the status of mailers?
I didn't hear the last part of it. Can Dave repeat it? Because he speaks very clearly.
What is the status of mailers from the district?
I did not have a chance to look into it before I left.
Sign waving though, so this was a strategic thing from the committee, is they decided to not do sign waving in September. They wanted to wait until the ballots were mailed out. The ballots are mailed out on October 18th. We base it on the local ballots, not the military ballots, because the military ballot is mailed out September 20th. They're abroad.
Well, they're not gonna be
They're
there.
not gonna see the sign.
So that's why we're like, we pushed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we pushed it to, October 19th, 27 is even iffy because we're like, it's Halloween weekend. The 27th is a Sunday. So God knows. But yeah, check your emails, the site is there. That's a great concept too. Technology. That's it.
All right, budget committee. You want to present on this, Julie?
Sure. The budget committee met, we went over where things were at through the end of June. 50% would be the normal benchmark for halfway through the year, but we know not everything is linear in our world. There are certain large expenses that get paid toward the end of the year. There are certain revenues that come in heavily at different points in the year. For example, swim lessons really bulk up over the summer months because they go to 2-week sessions instead of being a full month out. So swim lessons was an area that was just slightly below that 50% mark, and the summer should bump it back up. Overall, our total income at the 6-month mark was 42.65%. And we did recognize some deficits in things US Masters, aerobics as a whole, swim lessons, facility rentals. Most of them have notable explanations of why it is happening, so nothing really came as a surprise when we were reviewing. The expense side was sitting at about 38.49% of the annual budget. And we know that there are some areas there that will need to be adjusted due to unanticipated expenses, things that have come up throughout the year. But overall, it's tracking close to where we would have anticipated. Based on that and the budget that was approved for the year, this would have us using the bulk of what we had in reserve throughout this budget cycle. So there had been a question a couple of meetings ago about what our operating capabilities would look like into 2025 if the levy does not pass. Once we do the full adjustment and amendment, which I think we will need to meet again one more time to go over that prior to the September meeting, I will be able to say with more certainty, but I do not believe that we would be able to operate any aquatic programming if the levy does not pass. Previously, when the levy did not pass, we were able to run some very limited recreation programming because we did not have all of the overhead expense of keeping the pool operational. So that may still be a possibility in that circumstance.
So I've been thinking about this, and the budget committee is brand new this year. Historically, we have done all of this as a board. And it was never really explained what the goal of the budget committee would be specifically. But kind of piggybacking on what you said, it has been weighing on me a lot that this is something I would rather have full board input on instead of having an actual committee. We went through this last year with the whole board, and I definitely see value in having us all at the table for the budget versus a two-person committee. And I wanted to kind of understand what your guys' thoughts were on that.
Yeah, when I was a city councilman and when I was a board commissioner, we all worked on the budget. We didn't parse it out, a subset of the body.
Yeah.
So I'd be all for that.
I also think it's harder for all of us to stay on the same page. There's only a couple of people.
Yeah. And like, it's one thing when it's the, the programs, they do the research and they come together and they present the beef of it. But I think that's a lot harder to do with a budget and the sizable. I think that there are areas where there could be value in having a budget committee as we're going through and kind of tearing everything apart. I don't really know what that looks like at the moment. I think we need to bring it back, have a full board, and just figure out as a team what everything looks like. I think as we'll just have to divvy things up. Kind of look into, I encourage all commissioners to kind of dig into the budget, kind of get caught up and see if there are things that are glaring to you. Is it okay with you? To move on having this as a board function?
I agree. I mean, we, in October, voted as a board, we reviewed it item by item. It makes more sense to have all the commissioners be part of this. I was just gonna suggest if we're able to, since it's finance related, if we're able to add that to the agenda. It's gonna affect them.
It's going to be a long night, but it is, I think that is.
I don't know that I can be prepared that soon for that portion.
If we postponed it a week, would that give you time?
It would.
Is that something that's going to be 2 meetings?
Probably. It
So,
did last year.
What
for
if we
full board.
were to start on it, get to where we're trying to get with the pricing model, and then we go into the budget after that?
Because this would just be for the revision and adjustment for 2024. This is not addressing 2025 at all.
But in October, we were also having.
Yes, for 2025, which means we really need that pricing model so that we can work on that, yes.
But if we postpone the special meeting for a week without giving you that time.
Yes.
you guys
Is it instead or in addition to? 'Cause it sounded like 2 meetings.
Yeah, instead.
Instead. So we're gonna do a special meeting on September 12th,
Not
September 5th, and then we'll do the budget meeting to be based on the pricing structure that happens on the 12th later in October.
It's already scheduled for October 14th.
Right, okay.
So it's 6.
Or, I don't know. Yeah, that's when you guys can get here.
I think that that's a better way to go. I think that there is, like I said, I think there is value in having a select group very hone in on different issues, but I think as a board that we'll be able to accomplish that just as well, just quick, fast, and so with that, part of the budget committee, there's a program, Julie, that takes up significant piece of our lanes or whatever in the afternoons, every afternoon, that we have not received payment for all year. We received,
It's not all year, but it is. So there was a portion that needed to be reviewed and adjusted, and I have not been able to connect with their treasurer because they are on break this month. So I will reach out to him again.
what is the typical payment schedule?
They are supposed to pay monthly.
So with it taking up a lot, I mean, that's excluding programs that we could have. We need to really kind of put our foot down on due dates, making sure that we're getting paid
Yes.
in a timely manner. Cool. Oh,
Those are gonna be approved in October. That's when they're supposed to be approved.
How many want to be here in October?
Oh,
We're gonna zoom in.
um,
See that.
well, that's what it says in our bylaws, that they get approved in October.
I'm gonna be a hot nerd. You want me to zoom in?
I'm not trying to make a huge change here.
I know. I'll make an effort to do it. We'll see.
have there already been the additions that we?
So, that's a whole new document, and, I've begun putting that together. We haven't met as a committee yet. So just to kind of a heads up, I'm going through the minutes for the last 3 years, finding out what resolutions have been made, what, stuff has been decided on, and, creating a timeline, sort of, these are the things that we've agreed to already. And then when we review that, we can strike them out or keep them going.
Are you able to present a draft in September?
You can review them and give us your proxy vote.
We need 10 days.
With the standing rules, we're actually only codifying, or we're only, not codifying, that's not the word. We're writing down everything that's already approved. So we're not actually necessarily approving that, we're just putting it together as a document. There are a few things that we'll need to approve, I guess, so I guess we need to approve it one time.
All right, moving right along. I only have a public option. Jay?
It's before you guys again, it's, unless you guys have any further question, it was just that are they being charged twice? No, it was just a mistake in the ILA and she removed it and put it back before you. We are required to have a way that we get rid of surplus equipment. And so the city doing it actually saves us money to go through this route. Shane did, and it's in your packet. I forget the name while I'm on the road here, but he did figure out who the school district used, but by the time I had left, he hadn't finished researching. But what the city said is if we sign the agreement and decide not to go through with it, there's no harm in that. So but if we don't sign the agreement now to go through with it, then we miss this year. It's not, it really just means some stuff stays in our back area behind the pool longer. They used to have the city auction every year, but they haven't had it since before COVID. So this is the first time back. I don't know when the next one would be, if they are going to return to their regular yearly schedule.
And this agreement looks good because it's basically we're getting charged a percentage on what they sell. So if we sell nothing, we don't pay anything. And so like I said, I read through it, it looks pretty solid and it doesn't put us on the hook for paying anything if we don't sell anything.
To approve, interlocal agreement for disposal of surplus personal property through the coordination of auction services between City of Oak Harbor and
I second that. What she said.
Come on, David, repeat it.
All right. Any discussion on the motion? All right, move the vote. All in favor of approving the ILA for the city for auction?
I
Perfect. Website quotes. Sorry, website quotes. Jay, is that you?
I really do not.
Jay Harvard? I think she's.
Sorry, there you go. No, I'm here. I forgot to unmute. I reached out to 2 different companies, but without going through a formal RFP process, and knowing exactly what the board wanted to see, I asked them to give us some general numbers based on some other websites that, and one being Civic Rec was one of them, and then Revise. And so that way you guys had the general idea. We pay about $200 a year for our GoDaddy, so it's a huge price difference. But if you guys wanted to move forward with that, we could do a formal RFP and with the next budget cycle and get some real hardcore numbers for you guys to analyze. But that's where we are with those website quotes.
Revise is a lot cheaper, but even that, them being a lot cheaper, I don't know that I'm not familiar with, but that we're gonna be able to swing that. Especially that initial startup of 8 to 10K.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd rather see it for the other programming. I prefer to put 10 grand down on something, I'd rather it be something that is handful for our student folks that live in the district, because they just, it's a lot.
I'm not comfortable with talking about spending this kind of money now for the.
Yeah. That's all.
I want to suggest that, just to table it and talk during the taxes to the levy.
Okay.
Because that also allows us to refund.
I don't think that needs a motion, right? Okay. Moving on. Colors?
Did you say colors?
Yes.
Sorry. So GoDaddy used to be set up a little bit differently, that you could go in and you could show themes, but they've removed it on my end of how I could do it. So I sent out the link asking for the board to see some things if they liked it, because we can pick those from what that link showed us to get to those looks. It would just take a little bit reworking. And I didn't really get any feedback on it. And so we use Canva to make all of our marketing material. And so I did present the board with the color branding offerings that Canva has that we could pick from. There were a couple that came in from commissioners about the colors that they liked. But it's really a discussion for you guys on what you guys would prefer to see.
Okay.
Thanks for your.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, I do care, and I know we just tabled this, do you mind if I speak for this moment?
We're talking about colors.
I know,
You can table colors.
I know,
Yes. I can't talk though.
We're in discussion, right? Are we in discussion?
Yes,
We're in discussion.
Okay. Is, rather than going through a large company to do a website, could we put the word out to a local and see if there are designers in this way?
I think that would be an RFP, and I think that might be a good discussion to have after the levy cycle.
Yeah.
But
But then
also-
let them pick the colors and the design and all of that and present it to us and not go through one of these major
Yeah.
companies that we don't have the budget for.
I
Although I
think
have the grapefruit and Amazonite.
Thank you.
that this is a for now thing, and then what you're talking about
Okay.
is for later.
Let me go back to item. The reason I brought it up is because if we were to go through a designer, they would want to pick the colors
Oh,
and
yeah, absolutely.
go with a theme.
Yeah.
And they would present us a theme, then we can say, yeah, that theme looks good, no, that theme doesn't look good.
Yeah.
So if we pick colors now and then change them in 6 months, is that the right thing to do?
Yeah. Need something eye-popping. And my thought process is going into the levy and going into trying to get more traffic and trying to be more eye-catching and bold and
My vote is the first one. You can't see that, Jay, sorry.
What are we talking about?
The one with the band.
I don't like the one with the band. I like the one with grapefruit and Amazonite.
I do too.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? I see, there's a grapefruit, okay.
So we've got 2 votes for coral reef and 2 votes for the one with the band.
All right, Dave, you gotta care now, because you're the deciding
You're the
vote.
deciding
Deciding
vote.
vote.
Bruce for man.
Oh, I was gonna say that.
I knew it.
That's not what that says.
I also like that.
Yeah.
Is that what that says?
Yeah.
But,
May I say? May I
Yes.
give another option that just occurred? So when we did the logo, we did it in black and white with knowing that one day we would go back and probably make it a more colorful logo. It would cost us some money, but I could get a quote because we still have contact with the artist who made the logo. And we could say, hey, could you please give us a branding color and show us what our logo would look like with those branding colors? And I could get a quote from him first, or I don't actually know if it's a female or male, but a quote from them first. And then go from there. But I don't think I could turn that around quick enough for the board for the current levy cycle. Like this would be something that would go in, towards the end of the year, we'd probably get accomplished.
Well, my second choice is coral reef.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm still not convinced that says
Thank you,
Mediterranean.
Jay. I think that we're just gonna choose a color for, going into the levy cycle. And then we can, we'll discuss kind of what you just mentioned, I think as a part of the discussion for choosing like the website design and stuff like that.
Well, to be honest, I'm up there on the primary colors. And And that's the closest to primary colors.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, in my head, I was just thinking teals with something that really popped. And then
Get right here.
that's turtles.
Oh my gosh.
That's a little too bold for me.
It's a little aquamarine.
All right.
Yes,
I'm
Julie.
Metro, remember, so.
I feel like the van picture already encompasses a lot of the colors we've been using that I think you want to kind of shift away from. Short term, I say pick the colors that make you happy.
Yeah.
Long term, I would suggest perhaps Jenna, our new plant service coordinator, she has that degree in graphic marketing. And I know that she's done a lot of research into colors and how they impact the end user. So I think that feedback might be valuable long term.
That's why I was thinking, short term, let's, we've decided on Coral Reef as branding for GoDaddy and the theme. And then,
like for example, I know my purple
That sounds
office,
ridiculous.
is it's like not what I would have in a public space.
Right.
But
Okay, cool.
All right.
Do we need a resolution for that?
I'm just gonna circle
Oh,
it on my
324.
finger.
yeah, no, I put a star on it, yeah.
Yes, I do like those colors.
2024-03. No, sorry, 05, because you've got two of them here for us today.
Okay.
You ready, Malay?
Oh, is that gonna be, the color is gonna be the 2024 05? Gotcha.
All right, Julie, take us home.
Alrighty, so
Please.
this gets confusing for people. So the district has maintained a checking account that has been referred to as the petty cash checking account for many years. Previously, it was used to pay things like our Department of Revenue payment, things that we couldn't wait to process a voucher through the county for. This account has not been used in 5-ish years. So I reached out to Tony Lamb at Island County to see what the process would be for closing it. He said that because it was open with a resolution, it would need to be closed with a resolution. And then that just goes to the bank. We currently pay an $8 a month service fee on the account. So it is dwindled down to just a couple $100 left. So the recommendation is to close the account by resolution, and then that money will transfer into our depository account there and get swept into M&O.
I move. We move this $268.08. We close the petty cash account and move that amount into the Metro account.
Resolution 2024.
Yeah,
Sure,
you could
do
just-
that.
yeah.
I second the motion to approve resolution 2024-03.
Julie, you can give them all.
I do.
All in favor
I have a
of
little
approving resolution 2024-03, closing cash,
Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. Right on.
So resolution 2024-04 would supersede resolution 0707, which names 2 individuals that have not worked for the district in a very long time as petty cash custodian and alternate custodian, basically for our starting cash and our change bag cash. So it just updates the language and lists position titles instead so that this is good long term.
I move to approve resolution 2024-04.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. I was confused by the executive session. I didn't have one. Was there one that I didn't know of?
I believe it just goes in every time in case it is needed.
Okay. maybe when we don't have it,
I think it's just a motion.
It's not in the minutes, so it's fine.
Action items.
I think the only action item is for me to send a calendar invite to our next special meeting on September 12th.
Tony, what is the status of, do we actually vote on what?
This table didn't come back up. Do we want to bring it back up for next month?
I don't know if we wanted to, I know it was a big substantial amount, but I know we discussed this also. Once we review the budget, to see how.
I think the other big thing that we were discussing about it is that the sponsorship of an episode doesn't necessarily mean that we get the episode, but it's an episode at Monterey Full.
What's that, we're gonna request them to come back to, answer questions, or is that, did we delegate Jay to? I can't remember.
I think we asked Jay to reach out. Julie, were there any other action items that I missed?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
All right, next meeting.
Do you want me to invite, add you to that calendar invite too? Okay.
Next regular meeting, September 22nd, 2024 at 6 p.m. here at the Oak Harbor Chamber of Commerce.
It's a Sunday.
Yeah, it's 26th. It says the 26th on the agenda, but the script says the 22nd.
I think the 22nd.
You got me, Julie.
Yeah.
It was the 26th.
Yeah, it is 26.
All right, so I amend my statement. The next regular meeting is September 26th, 2024 at 6 p.m. here at the Chamber of Commerce.
Move we adjourn the meeting?
A second. All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Bye, Jay.
Hi, Jay.
Thank you.